I'm an avid reader of business books, finance books, of self-help books, if you will. I read all the time. And one thing that I have found that is a consistent thread between all of it is that we have to have parameters that we work in. We have to have parameters for our personal lives. We have to have parameters for our business. We have to have parameters. We have to have, if you will, systems that help us keep aligned the way we want to. I love the thought of going bowling with bumpers, right? Bumpers go in and help you to be able to bowl. You can still bowl a gutter ball at the very end if you don't do it correctly, but the bumpers help to keep you where you need to be so ultimately you can hit the pins. That's what systems do for us. If we have a systems that we live by, that we abide by in our personal finances, in our business, in the ways that we operate, we can be successful when we get pins down. It doesn't mean that you're not going to get a gutter ball still thing or that you're going to miss pins at the very end. But what you've done is by applying systems in your life and by running a sound business, you up your chances of getting pins down. I think the best way to know how to run a sound business is through the principle of percentages. We run everything in our business based upon percentages. Well, let me give you an example of what those percentages look like. After paying my employees, after paying the doctors, after paying for our lease spaces, everything, I want to be running a 20% profit margin. If I'm not running a 20% profit margin in my clinic after paying all the expenses, there's something wrong. We should be running over 20% profit margin, but the bare minimum is a 20% profit margin. So what do? We look at, okay, how much do my employees cost? What's the percentage that we should be paying our employees? In our world, we look at about 29 to 33% is probably an ideal place that you should be looking at paying your employees. I see a lot of evaluations that come in where their employees are at 35% for taxes, benefits, everything. Now this is for everything, and I think that's too much. I don't think that the doctor's producing enough with what they have. So I think to be in that stage of around 29% for your employee costs is actually a really good place to be. Dental supplies and labs, depending on the type of practice that you run. If you run specialty where you're doing implants, you're doing Invisalign, Invisalign's expensive. Now remember, I've said this before, if you need to look at another video, Invisalign is a lost lead. That's the way we look at it in our practices from a profitability standpoint. But I want to run my dental supplies and labs somewhere between the range of 8 to 12%. What does that mean? I have budgets that the team goes by. They know exactly what their budgets are based upon the money that we collected and the production that we did from last month to replace those supplies that we used. I pay the doctor. I get paid a percentage of what I do. In our office, it's 30% of what the doctor does, the doctor takes home. That goes in and helps me and my doctors as we produce more, we get paid more. But it also sets a tone to where we're guarding a profit. You want to have the numbers for your office set to where you should be at least guarding a 20% profit at the end of the month.